Minasan konnichiwa. Today we're going to be talking about some misconceptions with the Google Translator app. Now, when I started learning Japanese, like most people, I was looking for ways to make it easier on myself. And once I discovered that you can't just take an English word, toss it into a translator, and then have it spit out perfect Japanese, and then just use the structure and grammar that you already knew to just automatically make perfect Japanese sentences, the next step was to just take whatever I wanted to say in English, toss it into the translator, and let Google do all the work. And, well, use that. Oh, and just for clarification's sake, I want to make sure you know I'm talking about the Google Translator app for phones, not the web-based app. They might be very similar, but I don't have a lot of experience with the web-based app, so I'm just going to be talking about the phone app today. You all probably know the first thing that any native speaker will tell you to do is not to use Google Translate. In fact, just the other day, I was watching a video from the Anime Man, and he was explaining how it comes across when you use Google Translate as compared to natural Japanese. To Japanese speakers, it just sounds very off. So, Google's worthless. And it should be avoided like the plague by any and all serious language students, right? Well, not so fast. You should not use Google Translate as a teacher or self-study course. That is 100% true. But does that mean that it has no use for a language learner? Well, when I was a newbie, I was very stubborn and resistant to the idea that I could not use Google Translate at all, rebel that I am. I was determined to find a way to make it useful. And what I discovered was it is a fantastic checking system, especially with colloquial and spoken Japanese. Now, I discovered this by having conversations with natives on Line, Hi Native, and Hello Talk. More on those later. I would plug what they said into the translator and it would come out in perfect English almost every time. So the easiest way to take advantage of this is to use it to check your work. What does that mean, to check your work? Easy. You just say whatever it is that you want to say in Japanese, plug it into the translator. If it comes back in perfect English, then it's good and you can use that. If it's not, then make adjustments until it is. Now, what about beginners who don't have a handle on grammar or the ability to make their own sentences? Well, for them, it gets even better. Still, when talking with native speakers in SMS or speech, they can still take what they say, plug it into the translator. They just have to get a dictionary app like this. So let me show you how I do this. Basically, when you use the translator, any word or phrase you put in, you can just go ahead and copy it straight out of there, and then you can move it into a dictionary app. Now, I use an app called Jisho. It's free in the Google Play Store. The reason for this dictionary is mainly because you can plug in any word in any form into it, and it'll tell you the dictionary form of that word and a description of that form as it was used in the original sentence. So this makes it so you can effectively dissect sentences given to you with a pretty high success rate, if not perfectly. But more often than not, it will give you the dictionary forms of the words used in the sentence and the particles. And let me just take a word that's in a different tense than the dictionary form and show you how that works. So it's manandeiru, so was learning. And then I go ahead and pop it into Jisho. And then you can see right there in the lower right hand corner, progressive past. Now, if you don't know what progressive past means, then you can go ahead and just plug it into Google and find out. So at this point, even if you don't know the language, you can see the form of the words, and if you don't know how that form works grammatically, simply look it up. Same with the functions of particles. And that's it. Very simple. By using Google Translate as a guide, you can take any legitimate Japanese sentence and turn it into a makeshift lesson. You can learn how the different forms of words can be used grammatically, particles, and tenses, all from a single sentence. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Now, as an added bonus, you can also use the capture function. And this works exactly the same way. You just take a picture of any phrase or words that you're working with. It translates it, and you can take that word or sentence, dissect it, and use the exact same method. And you can use this to get the most out of any dramas that have subtitles, movies that have subtitles, and even some YouTube videos that have it as well. Again, I would not do this religiously, but if there's a word that you like or a phrase you want to get to know better, go ahead and pop it in Google Translator. It'll give you an excellent foundation to find out more about the word, phrase, or the language in general. Now, sure, I know, you can take any SMS or text and pop it into the dictionary app of your choice for the same effect. But in my experience, nothing comes close to the capture functionality in Google Translate. And even when it comes to capturing spoken Japanese, nothing's really been able to do it as accurately, in my experience, as Google Translate has. I've even been found with my phone up against the TV or computer trying to catch that phrase from a drama that I'm watching or YouTube video. Fair warning though, the spoken language and the written language are different, just different enough to cause a little bit of confusion. Remember, this is not recommended to be a catch-all self-study method. It's only meant to supplement your language skills, maybe to supplement any books or programs or classes you might be taking. It is not advised that this ever be your only source that you rely on for knowledge. At the end of the day, Google Translate was designed to take spoken languages and translate them into English. That's what it was made for. That's what it does best. And if you're taking English and putting it in and trying to get other languages out, you're not really using it in the way that it was designed. It's like taking a meat grinder. If you push meat through it, you'll get ground beef. But if you push ground beef through it, technically you can get whole beef, but it's kind of messy and it won't come out quite right. Really, Google Translate gets a bad rep. Is it perfect? No. But it has made a lot of really amazing enhancements over the last 4 years that I've been studying. But at the end of the day, nothing is better than a native Japanese speaker for the best feedback and results. Japanese is an extremely nuanced language, and context is such a huge part of it, to the point where without context, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, even to native Japanese speakers. Which is why if you push English into it, you're not going to get out true Japanese. But that doesn't mean that it has no value to a language learning student. It just means that you have to think outside of the box to make this one of the things that you use to help you understand the language even better. So next time you have a sentence that you don't know, that you're confused about, go ahead and pop it in Google Translator. See where it takes you. Remember, it's just as important to learn what does work for you as it is to find out what doesn't. Don't be scared to try new things or think outside of the box. That really is the best part about learning Japanese. So that's all I've got for you today. If you'd like more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for apps or methods you'd like me to look into or give my take on, don't forget to leave those down below as well. And don't forget to hit that bell so you get any notifications when I release new content. So I'll see you guys later. Mata ne.